Steve Schettenhelm. He is the chief for the Rochester Police Department. Chief, thank you for being with us.
You bet. Thank you. Good morning.
Your backdrop looks very festive with the lights behind you. So why don't we go ahead and start there? It's the holiday season, but also the season for Grinches.
Well, we hopefully we're going to be in a happy season. I mean, there's so many things that we're not able to do, but one of the things that we've been so happy that we're is to have the lights up in downtown Rochester, and we have had a number of people come down and drive through and walk around and really enjoy the lights and celebrating that comes with them.
It is always a great time of year there. The lights are fabulous. They've done such a good job there in the city putting up that display. And but it also, it's a way to try to attract people to the businesses there in the downtown area. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the precautions holiday shoppers should be doing this time of year?
Well, we always like people to make sure they can come down and enjoy our downtown or any shopping that they might be doing. But it's always good to be careful and be extra mindful to make sure that women are really aware of where their purses are, that we don't leave valuables in the car that are visible. So if you're doing your shopping, you run in and you have to go back and reload and put things in the car. It's always a good idea to move to another spot so that people aren't watching where you parked and that you put things in there. And to make sure you cover things up and that sort of thing. So it's just taking those extra precautions to be aware of your surroundings so that you're just to ensure your safety when you're out shopping.
Chief, I've done the holiday shopping story for about the past, 15, 20 years. And I will say I've never thought once to actually move my car after I reload it, because that is what we do, right? You're out shopping, Yep. You bring your purchases, you throw them into your car, you think, oh, I'm putting it in my trunk, I'm okay, I'm safe, or in the back of your SUV, and you head back indoors.
Yeah, it's just an extra level of precaution just in case somebody is out there walking around and you've just really made your car much more attractable than the one next to it. And also, make sure that car's locked. I mean, whether it be at home or out shopping. I mean, the biggest thing that we can do as individuals to protect ourselves is we always tell people it's to lock your doors, keep the garage doors closed. We don't want to make it easier for bad guys.
With that, this is also kind of the season for a lot of scams. Are you guys seeing any there in Rochester or any new ones that are unique this time around?
It's usually kind of the same thing reinvented. And we actually just this week have had calls from people that are calling saying that in order to keep them out of jail, that they need to send them money. They use enough information that makes it look like it's coming from us. Right now, we have somebody that's using the name Officer O'Malley. We don't have an Officer O'Malley here, but this guy who's claiming to be O'Malley is convincing people that they have a warrant out for their arrest and they need to give money. That just isn't something that is the way we do business. No police department does. And so we always want to urge people to not fall for it. And certainly before, if you have any concern at all, call your local police department and see what information they have about that.
So when you say they're using just enough information so that you fall for it, where are they getting this information?
Well, I don't know that they necessarily have information, but they just gain the confidence of people. And sometimes it's in the way the conversation goes where you unknowingly share information and then they build from that. And so, the internet's full of information as to, where you live, what your house looks like by going on Google Earth. It's not hard to Google somebody and know where they work or maybe know relatives. It's really not hard these days to have enough information. And then if you're a good talker and people are good listeners, then they volunteer some information. And the next thing you know, you're sending, $5,000 overseas and money that you'll never get back.
Yeah. So from a law enforcement standpoint, how hard is it for you to actually investigate these types of crimes and track down the people committing them?
It's very difficult. Technology, while it's our friend when we're trying to do things, it's not our friend when it comes to trying to investigate these cases. They go overseas very quickly, and so our reach to those areas becomes very difficult. The technology roadblocks that they are able to put up in spoofing your phone number. I mean, I can take my phone and I can make it look like it's any other phone number, and all these things are roadblocks to successfully prosecuting cases. So the best thing we have is prevention. Just don't fall for it.
It's so hard because, like you said, some of them are very creative in the ways that they're doing it, and it's that gift for gab that makes you fall for it.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's the thing that, sometimes it's best, and you don't want to, I guess, appear gullible or that, but it's always good to maybe talk to a trusted friend or family member and say, hey, I got this call. What do you think I should do about it? Because I think sometimes when you get a little clearer perspective from somebody else's point of view, they can kind of guide you in the right place. So, in most cases, first of all, that's not the way any police department does business, and people should always give you time before you make decisions. So I think that's the fastest way, is just to tell them, I can't make that decision. I have to talk to a family member, hang up the phone, and go from there.
So, Chief, while we have you here with us, I know that the governor has extended some of the newest restrictions, or the health department actually, through December 20th, just before the holiday shopping season wraps up. Are you seeing any issues there in your area with some of the businesses not complying?
We occasionally get some calls on it. We go out and investigate those. Most of the time, when we get there, we don't find that to be the case. The people have masks on. So a lot of this is a very transient type of situation where a store may have somebody that doesn't have a mask on. By the time we get there, they've left. A mask slips down, they pull it up. So we do a lot of certainly education and let people know that we did receive a complaint, and I guess impress upon them the importance of following these guidelines, not only for our safety, but also for the comfort of the shoppers that are coming to their stores.
So with that, you're a pretty small department, just about 25, 26 full-time employees. Yep. How much of your time and resources do some of these complaints take away from your other activities?
Well, as I say, I think we've been very lucky. I think they're not been a draw on our staff at all. We get them occasionally. We address them just as in any other call for service, but it hasn't become a burden. And I think that's a tribute to not only our downtown business people, but the people that do come down here and visit the downtown area. So we hope people continue to do that. It's important.
We're in the middle of a second surge right now in the state of Michigan. How is your department holding up? Because you are a smaller department. Have you had any officers become ill? And have you had to quarantine some of those officers as well?
Yeah, we have gone through that where people have felt that they've been exposed. We have had a few officers and staff that have come down with COVID, and we've worked through that. But overwhelmingly, I think we've been very successful in the measures that we take, and basically training our officers to be careful and asking them to be mindful both on their on-duty and off-duty conduct, that it's so important to be washing your hands, monitoring your health, and being aware of who you're around and whether they may or may not be infected with COVID.
Is it impacting the decision to allow people to take time off at all during this holiday season?
No, we've been okay as far as that goes. We haven't had to restrict leave time or anything like that.
Oh, that's good to know. The Chief, Steve Schettenhelm, with us here on the Oakland County Megacast. He is the Chief of Police for Rochester Police Department. Chief, I'm noticing you have no beard right now. Did you take part in the No Shave in November?
I didn't. We do have a number of officers. In fact, if you go on our Facebook page, we have a little contest going right now to kind of rate some of the beards. Some of the guys wanted to keep them for another month. The way the program worked is you could sign up for 1 or 2 months in November or December, and we donated money to charity. I did pay, if that helps, but and still shaved. So, but yeah, we had a number of our staff did make that donation, and then we're kind of having a runoff contest to see who can keep theirs till January as well. So.
Because I will say, Chief, though, I think if you would have gotten in on the contest, you could also be in the running to be a Santa Claus.
Well, yeah, you might be onto something there. That might be.
How important is it to have some of these events to not only connect with the community, but does it also help to raise morale within the department as well?
Sure. I think anytime you have any good, healthy competition is nice. And I think it's a great way for us to, as you said, engage with the community and give something back. I think, we do a number of things throughout the year to stay connected with our community. Right now, we're also doing a non-perishable food drive to help the neighborhood out. So our Christmas tree in the lobby is full underneath with all kinds of various canned goods and things that we'll take over to the neighborhood house and help those families that are in need, particularly this time of year.
If people want to drop off and donate, do they just come to the department? What do you want them to do?
Yep, they can come right to our lobby and drop them off under the tree. We'd be glad to have them.
And where does that go again?
It goes to the Rochester Neighborhood House. There's the food pantry there, which is at the Congregation Church, and it serves on a daily basis a number of residents throughout Rochester Hills, and Oakland Township, providing them with food staples throughout the week.
Chief, just another minute or two here with you on the Oakland County MegaCast. Of course, we've had beautiful weather so far this winter season. We're just getting into the beginning of it, but people do tend to drive like idiots. Let's just go ahead and say it. Once the snow starts to hit, any tips or anything you want to get out to the public before we let you go?
Well, we always tell people, drive slow in ice and snow. It's a good saying. It's a good way to remember it. The other caution we have is just because I have an SUV, it may allow me to drive faster, but it doesn't do anything to make it stop faster. And so we got to make sure that people, drive within their means and watch the road conditions. And it's the stopping that almost always gets us in trouble. So got to just make sure that we know the limitations of not only ourselves as drivers, but the limitations of our vehicles too.
What is it with us? It's like we just totally forget how to drive in snow. It's not like this isn't Michigan, right?
Well, and that's like particularly with the young drivers, we suggest that parents take them out to an open parking lot so they get an idea of what it feels like when analog brakes are applied, so that they aren't scared of that when it happens up on the road, and helps them better control their vehicles. So maybe we all need to have that little refresher course in the parking lot to remember how a car is going to stop in the snow, and to be careful. Not talking about donuts in the parking lot, but we're talking about just testing those brakes in a straight line so you get a feel for it. I think a lot of times that's what happens. People just kind of panic when they hear that noise and feel that vibration under their pedal, and bad things can happen.
Yeah, they don't understand there's a reason why their car is reacting that way.
Correct.
But I'm sure you never did donuts in the driveway.
Oh,
or
heavens no.
in the parking lot, right?
No, we're cops. We just eat them. We don't do them.
Well, Chief, it's been great having you with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. We wish you and your entire team over there a very happy and a very healthy December and holiday season as well.
Well, thank you. And to you as well, and to all your listeners, we certainly appreciate it.